Hey, good morning, everybody. This is Vance Williams out of the United States in the Seattle area. I've got Victor with me, who's from Australia, who's currently out of Japan. We'll be getting to Victor in just a moment. It's Thursday, July 10th. Welcome to our Forex trading show. I want to get to the analysis quickly for those of you who are just coming to the show for that. After that, we'll go inside to our member-only area of our website, and Victor will show you a feature trade from one of our traders. And then after that, we're going to answer a couple questions, one or two, we'll see. Victor, how you doing this morning?
Yeah, Vance, I'm good. I'm good, mate. Very good. Glad to be back in Japan again. Got a typhoon bearing down on us, but looks like it's lost a lot of its power. But since I'm here in Japan, I may as well say a few words in Japanese. Just get some good practice in. So, 日本語がわかる皆さん、こんばんは。Forex at War の Victor です。ただいま東京にいます。サイトを通してぜひ声をかけてください。どうぞよろしくお願いします。
Thank you, Victor. Whatever you said, it sounded good.
That's the beauty of speaking another language that not anyone else knows. You can say anything.
Yeah, right on, right on. Okay. Um, I tell you what, let's do what we said we're going to do. Let's get right to some analysis this morning. I'm glad you arrived safe there in Japan. We'll come back to you in just a bit, Victor.
Thanks, mate.
Okay, so I'm showing my screen now. I actually arrived at the charts just a little while, so you'll be seeing things with me for the first time. I'm obviously noticing a support level that's rising right through this area that's holding on right now for the pound. This is the pound 30-minute chart. Now we had, let's zoom out just a tad here. So we're going to go zoom out just a little bit more. So we're coming into this level right here. This is basically where the buyers kind of ran out of gas right here. So the story this week, first, really quickly, is we're coming out of a long 4th of July weekend. Um, so people come in on Monday very slow. They come out kind of excited for something to happen on Tuesday, but then they see that the central banks are going to be monkeying around with things for the next couple of days. So anyway, there's been a little bit of increased uncertainty all through this week. And yesterday they announced some news out of the Fed that basically looked negative for the U.S. dollar. During the night, we had some people potentially defaulting, some banks, and so I think people ran back to the dollar a little bit. But what we've got to remember to do is if we can't get a good solid read on the story that's happening out there, then we've got to just trade what we see. If things are very unusual and uncertain, you might want to just step back for a while. But let's just take a close look at what the price was doing. It moved up right into the top of this range area, and then this morning totally reversed. Now I did take a look. There was a very nice setup, and let me zoom in here. There was a very nice setup right in this area. The problem is that the balance of buyers to sellers had not turned over, and that's basically one of the things that we look at is just these moving averages. Now, I haven't said it in a while, so if you hear some genius out there telling you that moving averages don't matter, they're lagging, that's true and false. Okay, it's true if that's all you look at, but if price is advancing in that trend, then they're 100% accurate. And if anybody wants to have a public debate about that, just let me know. Or if you just want to email me, I'll tell you why that's true. Okay, so you couldn't basically get in a sell here, and now we've come into this level. Long-term buying trend for the pound. We're still long-term. If we were to look at daily, 4-hour, or whatever, we would see that they're very bullish against the U.S. dollar. Now, so right now, let's see if we can see anything that we might look for. Yeah, basically a break below this level right now. You need price to stretch out. Let's go ahead and put a price on this so you guys that are having trouble reading this, let's put a price on that. Bing, 7105. So basically 7100 level. And so, see price stretch down through here, you got a potential sell if the range is big enough to get in and out with good risk management. Other than that, I think you're going to have to see price get up above this area right here. And of course, that becomes a factor, then you're going to run into this stuff up here as well. So this seems to be this area right here. Let me just do a rectangle. This seems to be the range that's been defined. So we break above here, there's going to be a significant move. We break down below here, there's going to be some chop moves, basically. Anything you saw there on the pound, Victor, this morning?
No, Vance, that was great analysis. That's exactly what I'm looking at. In my pre-London analysis, I just drew two horizontal areas where I'm just calling this a range at the moment. And until it breaks up or breaks down, I'm just going to watch it from now on and let them push price one way or the other. It'll happen, whether it happens this week or next week, it'll happen, but I'm just got to wait for that to happen.
Yeah, exactly. Thanks, Victor. All right, so let's talk over the euro. The euro, I'm just going to pop up to the 4-hour. I just want to show you guys, it doesn't really matter. This is kind of messy, but it's just in this range right here, okay? The central banks are happy to have this within a range. And I just want to let you guys know that Victor and I are going to start talking about something next week. Give you guys a little heads up, those of you who are watching. We're going to be talking about how we have a currency revolution emerging in the global marketplace, and you're going to basically hear about that here first. So do tune in next week because we're going to talk about that. Because I'm getting tired of talking about central banks this, central banks that, and I'm going to give you a really good idea of where this is all going. All right, so the euro is it's right here in this middle. They're very happy to have it there. They'd rather the euro go down. The euro's looking, the eurozone's looking pretty poor for the next couple of years. In fact, as I mentioned yesterday, they're talking about increasing the balance sheet by 50%. That means like adding half as much euros into the supply as we already have. So nothing looking great there. But I guarantee you the currency revolution is going to come in and trump all of this. So if we were to zoom in on our 30-minute here, getting a little closer to price, we see that the trend turned over, just right about now. Let's drop down to the 5-minute, see if there's if there's a range big enough that we could consider a trade. One of the things you've got to get really good at is seeing when price is moving versus just bouncing around. This is an actual new wave. If you don't know new waves, you need to learn them. It's a technique that I developed to show you when price is actually moving. In other words, think of it like armies are set up and they hold a certain amount of ground. When is it that line moves? When one group takes over more territory from the other. That's the lines that you have to see in order to have really great trading logic. So this is an example of one of those movements. We see a boom, boom, 38.2, another move, and then we see a little bit smaller move here, and then we see a little bit bigger move here. It's showing you that it's kind of a mixed bag, but right here, here's our last one. And how big is that range? That's about 16 pips, still pretty small. And you get a little tiny move here followed by a little tiny move, and that's why you get this correction. So basically, what we're seeing on the euro right now is an intraday downtrend, but with exhaustion on the bottom. So popping back out to that 30-minute, what we need to see to consider a trade, and let me go back. You can see a nice level right here. That's the key level right there. So price needs to stretch below that for you even to think about having a high probability trade. If it's something to the top side, it's obviously going to be in this area here. If things just turn around, we'll be looking at price moving above this. In this area here, this is just fool's territory. You don't want to mess with this, especially when the moving averages are right in the middle. Let's see. Let's pop over to the Australian dollar real quickly. Looks like there's a pretty strong area right in here. I've got room to move. Let's take a look. Drop down the 5-minute on that. That actually looks more interesting than anything else I've seen this morning. Let's zoom in. Okay, this is the Australian 5-minute chart, and the reason why I'm zooming into 5 minutes is not because we're trading a 5-minute chart or a 1-minute chart. It's just so that we can actually see the behavior of the buyers and sellers. If you've got one long 30-minute candle, you can't necessarily see what they did. You have to fly. You have to take your helicopter and go down closer to the ground so that people don't just look like ants. You got to be able to see that, oh, he's buying an ice cream, right? Otherwise, it just looks like a bunch of ants moving around. All right, so we can see a nice move here, and then you see a nice move here, pulls back, pushes. Here's another tiny drop, gets a little stronger, about the same strength. And so this is kind of dwindling, showing some exhaustion as well. So popping out to the 30-minute, we're going to have to see price move below here. Looks like I don't have to give it enough room. So 93.64. If the price suddenly stretches out, range big enough to enter and exit with good risk management, you've got to trade there. So look, everything's moving down this morning. Let's look at the Kiwi. Kiwi's in the process of changing from all of this buying interest, changing to probably a correction of this entire move. So it's not in a position to trade right now. Probably, I mean, if you get a decent move below here, and these confirm across, you're probably looking at a potential trade right here. All right, so anything to add on any of that, Victor?
No, that's a pretty good run around the markets and gives a good idea. I mean, we are in Thursday at the moment, coming into Friday, so we'll just see how it works out, and if anyone moves this week, not maybe next week.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, guys, just remember, coming off the let me just go ahead and switch back to my camera here. Boom. There we go. I'm having to manually actually switch between camera angles, guys, just so you know. I don't know why. The system's just doing that this morning. All right, so that's your analysis this morning. What I want to do right now is go over to Victor, who's, as I said, he's in Japan this morning. And I want to turn over to him. He's going to talk a little bit about a featured trade from one of our team members. Victor, just so you guys know, he completed my full training programs, now trading live. He took an interest in helping others from the very beginning of his work here in our website, and he's so good at helping others, I asked him to join me in what I do. So in this next segment, as I said, Victor's going to talk about a trader and a trade that they took recently. So back to you, Victor.
Hey, Vance. Yeah, no, I appreciate those kind words. It's been a fun ride, that's for sure. Now I'm just going to share my screen. Hopefully. Let me know if I can see it or not. Can you see that now, Vance?
I can.
That's awesome. This is going into our members forum, so for people who have hung around on the call or watched this video later on, you're seeing right what our members see. And the trade of the week, which I'll try and pick out each Thursday, would go to one of our traders, Todd Larson, who's in level 2. And he's had 28 trades in level 2, and this one was a really nice one. So he's posted his charts in real time. He actually posted this one first when price was making a very, very strong move up. You can see that he tuned into the 5-minute chart there, as well as showing the 30-minute chart. And more often than not, when we do see a strong move like that, price keeps on moving up. So he kept on following. He had a little bit of advice from Vance saying, nice work, reset the trade. So that encouraged him to keep following the trade, not to forget about it. And he set his entries, his target, and his stop. And he made a few little comments on why he was buying there, what he was doing there. And it was just a really, really nice read on price for this one, a really nice entry. His stop down below the 76.4 and his target at a really logical area. And he goes on, a bit of interaction between himself and Vance. And just going over to the next page on the forum. So in our members area, each person has their own forum. We just don't talk about the Aussie dollar or the pound dollar or the Kiwi against the Aussie. They have their own with their own name, so we can follow what they do. And yeah, he took profit on that one very nicely. Came down here and made the second push. So Todd, great work, mate. And I believe that you'll be moving to level 3 very, very quickly. So congratulations on that, eh? Thanks, Vance.
Yeah, outstanding. Remember to click that share screen again, to come back to your face.
Cool.
Yeah, great job. Really great job, Todd. I set a note. We're going to move you to level 3. I'm actually going to do that today. So what Todd's going to be working on, for those of you who are unfamiliar with what we do, level 2 is mastering high probability trading. Todd's done that. We watch him and watch him. We don't tell you specifically how to trade. What we do is we think of it like hitting a baseball. there are a certain number of things that all baseball players do when they hit a baseball. They have their feet in certain proximity to the plate. They are holding the bat in relatively the same position. Their knees are slightly bent. They're looking in the same direction. In other words, there's a pattern of behavior that's common to all baseball players who hit a baseball. And so what we do is we take that behavior that's common to all good traders, and we teach you that logic, behavior, logic equals behavior. So we teach you that, and then we just have you swing. And then we watch, oh, it went off to the right. Okay, he needs to choke up on the bat a little bit because the bat's a little too heavy. It's coming around slow, and that's causing the ball to go off to the right. And it's probably a good time to point out that the difference between what we do on our site and everything else in the world is we're watching you. You know, right now you're watching us, and if you're doing anything else out there in the world, you're watching other people. Are they watching you? I mean, think about a boxer or baseball or a running back or a quarterback. How are they ever going to get better unless the coach watches them, right? So if people are saying they have Forex training and you're watching them instead of them watching you, that's not Forex training. That's education. Okay, so that's the difference. So what Todd's going to be working on, he's going to be working on his trading plan. That's execution. And that's the most important part of trading. High probability trading you can learn in a month or two. But execution, being able to make those decisions when there's risk and there's money on the line, that requires really good training of the brain. Brain's not used to making these types of decisions. It's just imagine there's a war going on, you have no trading, and you're in the ditch and somebody starts shooting at you. You're going to get up and run. I mean, that's what you're going to do. That's why they drill people in the Army over and over again. Get, point, shoot, over and over and over again. If there's someone burning in a burning building, you'd like to think you're going to run up there and rescue the damsel in distress, but unless you're trained to do that, you're not going to, unless you're a very unusual person. And so this execution, so Todd's going to be starting that. And just like in the first couple of levels where we don't try to tell you how you trade or what you see or what you understand, we just observe you, we do a very similar thing there. Why did you take that trade? Why did you make that decision? And so what we do is you end up with a setup that only you see and you take well, and a trading plan that you wrote. And then it's just a matter of practicing that. And just like anything else in life, you learn to do something, you do it, you come back, well, how could we have done that better? And you find out where your strengths and weaknesses are. And so it's all real life. I mean, guys, listen, if it don't make sense, it don't make money. Remember, write that down. If it don't make sense, it don't make money. Just get it down. Write that down. In other words, if you don't totally understand what you're doing, it's not going to work. All right, so let's see. What else? What do we got next, Victor?
Got some questions, if you've got time for them. I've got a couple of questions from some people I received early in the week. What do you reckon?
Pick one. We're
okay.
Pretty far in. Yeah, pick one.
This will be a quick one. From Jordan, a lady trader in New Zealand. She just wanted to know, what is the logic behind using the moving averages on the charts you post in your daily analysis, and can you tell us what moving averages they are?
Sure, great question. And hey, I was talking about moving averages earlier, so that's very timely.
Cool.
Did you do that on purpose, Victor?
No, mate. I just picked out some questions earlier in the week before I got on that plane, and I thought, okay, that'll be good for Thursday, so I can ask you. So sometimes it works out like that.
All right. That's a great question. I talked earlier about some people teach, moving averages are lagging. You can't trust them. I get that. That's price action traders. What do you guys learn about price logic trading? That's like one level deeper. But the moving averages, it's true they are lagging, and the prices already moved before they cross. In other words, the movement's already happened by the time they adjust. But to answer your second question first, they're the 21 and 55 EMAs. And I want you guys to know that because we're a training program in terms of our premium services, we don't hold back any knowledge. We don't say, hey, come inside our site and we'll tell you the secrets. It doesn't work like that. We're We're people who watch you swing the bat and say, you know what, you need to choke up on your bat, or you're standing a little too close to the plate. So we're happy to share all of our knowledge with you publicly. The work, there's no work in putting up a DVD for you to watch. I've got thousands of hours of information I could sell for I don't know how much money, and it wouldn't. I could sit there and sip lemonade all day at the beach. It doesn't require any work. What requires work is me reading what you do and watching what you do. That's work, and so we only charge for that. The moving averages are 21 and 55 exponential moving averages. We could use others; they would be close to the same, but mainly what we want to do is we want to have some kind of indication of the majority of the money is moving up or the majority of the money is moving down. That's how simple it is. And it's easy for anyone to see. If the 21's under the 55, the majority of the money is to the downside. If the 21 is above the 55, the majority of the money is to the upside. All right, now there's some other logic in there as well. Like, for example, you guys will notice that we primarily just look at the 30-minute intraday charts. And the reason why we do that is because in 2008, when everything crashed, there was no long-term future. Think about that for just a moment. There's no future. Now, how are you going to trade? Looks like I messed up my lighting again. How are you going to trade? Oh, now I've done it. How are you going to trade a long-term chart if there's no long-term future? Think about that for just a moment. There is no future. There's no future. Investors go, oh, well, I'm going to bet on Japan, or I'm going to bet on China, or I'm going to bet on Costco. No, we don't know if the U.S. dollar is going down with its reserve currency. We don't know if Spain or Greece is going to collapse tomorrow. I mean, you guys forget where we were every morning for 4 years? What's going to happen today? I mean, come on. There was no long-term future. If there's no long-term future, there's no long-term trend to trade. And therefore, daily charts and 4-hour charts for 5 years, pointless. Absolutely pointless. But now it's different. We've had the pound breaking out of that 5-year range. Now we've got something. But that's why we focus on the 30-minute charts, because essentially, while the markets are thinking long-term now, they still show up and they're going to say, hey, what's happening today? What's the Fed? We get the central banks constantly trying to manipulate price right now. What are they up to? What's their plan? What's going to happen? And so on. So we've always got to know what's going to happen today. I mean, Victor, just in the last couple of days, the entire country of Japan is focused on a typhoon, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, everyone's, especially when something's coming into Tokyo, the greater news, I mean, Tokyo is the center of the universe here in Japan, and when it's coming into Tokyo, that's all the news is running on and writing about where this typhoon, even though it's way down the bottom in Okinawa. But as soon as it passes, yep, they go on to the next news item. But it has been the focus, and it's a major thing. And I think that happens all over the world.
Absolutely, and the simple point is you guys have plans to go to a party, and suddenly you go to pick your friend up, and a water line's busted, and their basement's flooding. Going to the party? Not yet. Mm-mm. So find out if there's a broken water line before you bet it long term, right? So anyway, that's the mindset. It's just the culture's changed after 2009. We got to find out what's going on today, what's going on this week. And so that's why we look at the 30-minute charts. You know what? If there's a long-term trend like there is right now in the pound, if we turn to the upside, Victor, are we happy to hold that position and make more money?
Oh, that's all I want to do, Vance. That's all I want to do. I mean, the skills I've been taught from you to get in where I need to get in, and how small my stops can be. If I can hold that for even 50 pips or 100 pips, it's a lot of money in my account.
Right on, right on. So there is a great opportunity emerging with a longer-term trend on the pound. So the first step, as I was saying, what was the name of the gal in Australia?
It was Jordan, and she's from New Zealand. So
sorry about that.
That's close enough.
Okay, I'll remember that name now. Jordan. So the first thing is just being aware of is that flow over the previous couple of days, is it moving up or is it moving down? And then we look at one simple thing. If price has made a new high and it's pulled back and it's bouncing around, obviously the trends, the 21 is going to be above the 55. It's going to be balances to the top side. Is price moving, advancing that trend? That's the key thing to know. If the moving averages are crossed up, and in addition to that, price is advancing, the moving averages are 100% accurate. There is no misreading that. And so that's the context that you need. So there are 5 things that you need to be able to look at in order to determine a high probability trade. First is market conditions. Second is price direction. That's what we're looking at, price direction. Which way is price likely to go, up or down? The third, fourth, and fifth are your stop, your target, and your entry. And of course, there are subcomponents, that information about previous behavior that you would use to make all of those components strong. Again, if it doesn't make sense, it doesn't make money, right? So you got to know every aspect of what you're doing. But the moving averages have to do with that price direction. And if you see the moving averages crossed up and price is advancing, hands down, you're done with one part of the 5 parts. So it's that simple. That's why we keep it there. Do I need them? No, I don't need them. I've been doing this for 10 years. But, I mean, I keep them there. I never have to think about it. My brain goes, hey, it's crossed up. We're only going to buy. I mean, are there exceptions where I could do something different? Absolutely. But in the end, what you do in your trading is going to be specifically determined by your trading plan. And the trading plan is a reflection of what you have experienced doing. Okay? So anything to add, Victor?
No, that was awesome, Vance. I mean, I can't hear that enough. I mean, I know a lot of big institutional traders, they still use moving averages, and if they use them, it's good enough for me. And the way you use them in the program, yeah, they're 100% correct, and they really help, and they really assisted me to get to where I am now, and I'm not taking them off my chart. Thank you very much.
Okay. Well, and again, I mean, the people who say they're lagging, they're not useful, they don't understand how we're using them. Just to wrap things up, if you're wondering about our training, maybe in a couple of weeks, we'll open up a few spots. We do that once in a while, so just be on our mailing list and you'll find out first. I want to thank everyone for joining us today. We were endeavoring to make shorter shows. We have failed miserably in achieving that goal. But we have a good time, and hopefully you got at least 1 or 2 things out of this session that's going to help you with your trading. And I guarantee you, if you follow this show regularly, you're going to learn things that no one is talking about out there. So to our members watching, in about 30 minutes, we'll get together for the New York Open, the Stock Exchange Open, and we'll get together and take a close look at the market together. Until then, guys, have a great day or night, depending on where you are in the world. I mean, it's good night to you, right, Victor?
Yeah, oyasumi nasai.
Okay, I'm assuming you said good night and have a good one.
I did.
All right, you guys have a great one. Thank you.